According to Les Brown, life will knock you between the eyes, but when life knocks you down, make sure you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. I received my share of that strong knock from life on my birth month. It happened on the 2nd of November 2021, exactly at around 7:48 p.m. I was in my car as usual because I drive cab with my private car when I'm not working and less busy. A guy and a girl stopped my vehicle and said they wanted to go to a place called D-Line here in Port Harcourt. If you have been to Port Harcourt, Nigeria, you should know the place. After negotiating price with them, I accepted to take them to where they were going to. Even though the price was not really okay with me, I just saw it as me rendering a helping hand to them. They hopped in, of course, along with two of their friends, and all together 3 guys and a girl. And the girl had her face almost covered with what is popularly known as eja by the Yorubas in Nigeria. So I drove off. On reaching a place called Okija, close to a small bridge popularly known as the Interwaba Bridge here in my one area of Port Harcourt, the Nigerian police, as usual, they stopped me, they stopped my vehicle, and just as I was slowing down, one of the guys at the back seat of my vehicle was telling me to run and not stop. But I cautioned him immediately because I knew it's a very bad idea to do such. I never understood why he said that until I pulled over. I pulled over my car and came out as I was instructed to do by the policeman. He asked for my license and the rest of my papers. Just as I was opening my car to get the papers, next thing I saw was the guy at the back seat of my car opening the door, and another thing I heard immediately after that was a gunshot. Immediately, I ran off and left my car there as the gunshot continued. I could not believe it. These guys and the girl had guns in my car, and I did not even know it. They entered with guns. For close to 2 hours, the shooting continued. I was devastated because it was like a nightmare. When I noticed the gunshots stopped, I wanted to go back and make it known to the police officers that I'm not part of them. But on getting close to that place, the shooting started again. I had no choice than to take another direction. I took a cab and went straight home. On getting home that night, I was worried because I knew the police will definitely look for me. I had no other choice. Every other family member of mine I told about the issue that night advised me to go to the police station and make an entry. So, at exactly around 10 o'clock p.m., I went there, but to be sincere with you, I was scared to death. It was very, very scary. It was the police station popularly known as the My One police station. On reaching there, I figured out that the policemen were already in a meeting, and that was when they started interrogating me to know what really went down. I was shocked when I found out the guys killed 2 policemen and made away with their rifles. And these were just teenagers. I could not believe my ears. Just when I was thinking I was going to rot in jail for the death of 2 policemen, or take quite a long time to get free, considering the kind of country Nigeria is, I found hope. Something changed in how I saw the whole problem. I was somehow relieved when I found out that the hoodlums forgot 2 of their cell phones in my car. As soon as I found out that from the policeman during the investigation process as I was writing my statement, I knew these hoodlums were going to get caught. to the best of my knowledge. I just felt that no one will believe I'm not part of these guys unless they heard it from the guys themselves, that I'm not part of them. That was the only proof I wanted. I needed that to be one thing that would vindicate me. Even though I knew that these police officers knew I was innocent, but still skeptical about it, because they have seen situations where the drivers connive with hoodlums to commit crimes. After the interrogations from the policemen, I was directed to another office at the police station where I wrote my statement. And as soon as that was done, I was detained. The following morning, I was transferred to another police station called the Octopus Strike Force, formerly known as SARS. Life in that place was almost like hell. Because of how serious the matter was, they denied me visits from family, from friends, and you know what that means. I won't be able to feed. I starved for straight 1 week and 5 days. All I drank was water. Where I was locked, I discovered that most of the people there too were also victims of circumstances like me, with no one to help them, no one to help them out. Some of them have stayed for months in that place, no food, just water. With how skinny they have become, it was very obvious that they are not feeding at all. I did the things I thought I can never do in my life for any reason. I was picking rice remains on the ground, breadcrumbs on the ground, and I was eating them because this was all I can find to eat. No one was willing to give out their food in that cell because food is like gold in there. So if you get food, unless you are truly a generous person, you won't share with others. You can never want to share. While I suffered, I kept visualizing, seeing myself leaving that small gate in that cell and seeing the policemen give me back my things while I walked out of the police station. I kept saying to myself, I am going to get through with this, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how hard it gets. I am going to make it through out of this place. I said it for only God knows how many times. Every other day I woke up and I prayed, and I kept calling. I was calling on God, the God of my pastor. I was silently calling, and it was deep. I was calling out silently, deep in my mind. I just somehow believed He can hear me calling. I begged God to come to my rescue. I begged for forgiveness of my sins with heavy tears from my closed eyes, but I made no sound. All of these were in my mind. I never spoke a word. I will tell you how I found light at the other side of the tunnel. But you know what they say, it can only be God. From the onset, I had always believed one thing each time I looked at that small gate in that cell. I always told myself that I am a man of vision, a great destiny. I have a great destiny, and that gate, that cell gate, is too small to hold me captive from becoming what God wants me to be. I believed that the walls of that cell cannot contain my dreams because I already knew I'm a man of tomorrow. God is not a man that He should lie. On the 7th of November, being the first Sunday of the month, my birthday, I was summoned from the cell by the policeman in charge of my case. I went into his office. I was surprised to see him interrogating a young lady, looking so much like the lady that was sitting at the front seat of the vehicle with her friend, one of the 3 guys in the car that very night of the incident. All I could just say was, "Thank you, Lord." At least, even if it was not her, I knew she had to be her sister because she was from Yoruba. The policeman is one of the high-ranked policemen in that Octopus Strike Force. He asked me, "Do you know this girl?" I looked at her and I got confused because the other girl was light complexion and this one is looking dark. But they still had striking resemblance. So I told the policeman exactly what I was thinking. She looked just like her, but she is not the same complexion with the girl that was in my vehicle that night. After all the interrogations that day, we discovered that it was not her, but her sister, although not her blood relation, and they stayed together in the same apartment. She made us to know that the girl and the guy at the front seat, which is that her roommate, came to the house that very night of the incident and they slept in the house together. It was then that the policeman told her they were going back to her place immediately to find them because we were sure that they were still going to be around. So I was sent back to the cell while the policemen went in search of these hoodlums. I expected to hear from them the following day, being Monday, but nothing came up. I thought maybe it would take like another 1 week. So I just prepared my mind to face the hardship I was facing in that cell. But shockingly, to my surprise, on Tuesday morning, being the night of November 2021, at exactly 4 a.m., we started hearing some noises. It was the policemen. They succeeded in capturing the main girl and one other guy, one of the boys at the backseat of the car that actually shot the police. That same morning, it was a sad morning for the officers because they lost one of their team members in the process of apprehending these people. The hoodlums in that area opened fire against the police officers and it led to the death of one of the officers. But nevertheless, the police officers still succeeded in apprehending the main girl and one of the guys at the back seat. That morning, I heard the policemen arguing with the guy. They were arguing with the guy they apprehended together with the girl. He was being very stubborn and next thing we heard was a gunshot. He was killed because of his stubbornness. That same morning at exactly 10 o'clock, I was summoned again from my cell by my IPO. I went outside with him to find the girl, the main girl unhandcuffed, sitting on the ground with the Octopus Strike Force commander, sitting with other top officers, interrogating her. As soon as I saw her, all I could say once again was thank God. And then the commander asked me, "Do you know this young lady?" Immediately I said, "Yes." She was the girl at the front seat of my car that night with the guy, one of the guys. Then he asked her, "Do you know this man?" She said no. It was dark, I could not see his face properly. The commander now told her that I was the driver that was carrying them that night of the incident. And then the commander asked the most important question to me, the question that was going to decide my fate in that case. This man, this driver, is he part of your gang? and she immediately said, "No, sir." He did not know what we were going to do. The commander asked her again, "This man, look at him very well. Are you sure he is not one of you?" She replied him again, "No, sir, he is not one of us." And then, for the third time, the commander asked her again, "So you are saying this man is not one of you?" She said, "No, sir, he is not. He was just looking for passengers that night when we stopped his vehicle and negotiated price with him to take us to where we wanted to go." After that very interrogation, I knew I have found light at the other side of the tunnel. In this case, my freedom was sure, even if I was still in the cell. 5 days later, I started having visits. My family started bringing food for me. I was so relieved because I was almost starving to death. So, finally, it did not take long after I started having visits. I was summoned again, and this time it was for my release from that hell. Life sure knocked me down, but I fell on my back. I kept looking up, and that was why I was able to get up. I believed that no matter how bad it got, no matter how hard it got, God was going to save me, and God did. What I went through in that cell, I don't wish that. I don't wish that kind of suffering for my worst enemy. All I can say is, thank God I came out. Thank God I came out alive.